Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma, Pajama Grandma. In case we haven't met yet, go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below. So that's the first time you're being exposed to Pajama Grandma. And you're probably like, I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter to me. And I get that. Today in this episode, I want to talk a little bit about how you feel and how important it is to always be paying attention to how you feel about everything and anything around you. And that how we feel is everything. It's what creates our life. It's what creates our experiences. It's what colors how we experience everything. So let me give you an example. Stuff happens in our lives all the time. Bad things, good things. We get to decide whether they're bad or good. Now, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and died. Most people would think that was a really, really bad thing, and that how on earth could you think that that was a good thing? I've been divorced. Most people that have been divorced would think that's a really, really bad thing. How on earth could you look back on that event and think that that was a good thing? Well, both of those events in my life have proven to be a really good thing for me. Both events actually made me feel better. Now you're probably wondering, well, how can dying make you feel better? Well, because it actually gave me permission to stop doing things in my life that I thought I had to do. Stop doing things that made me feel really, really bad. Stop being who I thought the whole rest of the world thought I should be. And I gave myself permission to really be myself. And when we're really being ourselves, we feel really good. It's when we're pretending that we're someone else. It's when we're wearing masks. It's when we're behaving in ways that other people think we should behave and tell us we should behave that we feel bad. So my advice to you today and every day and every moment of your life is to always be paying attention and noticing how you feel. Now, so often we get caught up in the day-to-day activities of what we're actually doing because we're pretty much doing beings, not necessarily feeling beings, although we need to be more feeling beings because that would tell us what we should be doing. We get numb. We don't pay attention to how we're feeling. I remember listening to a TED Talk, and it was about when people ask you how you're doing and you say fine. And when I heard that TED Talk, I burst into tears because for years, people would ask me how I was doing and I would say fine. And if I said fine, I was doing really, really bad. I mean, I was barely making it through my days when I was telling people I was doing fine. And you know what? No one ever probed beyond that first answer because asking people how they're doing in today's society is kind of just like a greeting, and we don't really listen, or we don't really listen for the answer. We're just looking for our opportunity to respond to, well, hey, I'm doing awesome too, or I'm doing great. This is what just happened to me. We're always looking to put in our 2 cents. We're not necessarily tuned into the other person and what's really going on with them. So now, if you ask me how I'm doing, I will very seldom, if ever, say fine. Fine means I'm having a bad day. If I say I'm doing awesome, I'm probably doing awesome because most days in my life now, I am having an awesome day. No matter what's going on around me, I can choose and I decide that I am awesome and that I'm having a great or terrific or fantastic or fabulous or stellar or whatever other adjective I like to use to describe my day. So how you feel is everything. How I feel is everything. I have not always honored my gut or my instinct or my intuition about things. And as I look back through my life, and sometimes looking back is retrospective and good for us, I don't believe in dwelling in the past because there's not a thing we can do to change the past. But I do believe that there's lessons there that I want to learn and I want to learn from going forward. So I've done a couple of these life analysis where you go back and you make a timeline of your life and you just on a piece of paper or in a notebook write key events in your life. And you look at those key events and you say, okay, well, what lesson did I learn from this event? And that's how I have been able to turn, events that most people would think are terrible and life-altering and life-ending and turn them into positives because I look at, okay, yep, divorce was challenging. It wasn't that fun to go through divorce. I thought I'd be married my whole life. I never thought I'd be divorced, but I am. It's an event that happened. So I can either feel like I'm a victim and feel sorry for myself and whine and complain and moan to everyone on the planet that will listen. Most people won't care, but some will listen temporarily and then they'll stop hanging out with me. Or I can say, what was good about this? What about this event has allowed me to be more me? What can I feel good about this event? So feeling good. Always look for how you feel about everything, and always move toward what makes you feel good. If something makes you feel good, it is for you. It's in your own best interest. It's for your well-being. If something makes you feel bad or icky or afraid or grossed out, those things aren't for you. Those are things that you should stay away from, that you shouldn't be participating in, that you shouldn't be doing for you. When I say should or shouldn't, it's always based on your interpretation of what is right for you. Only you know what's right for you. Only you know what you should or shouldn't do. Only I know what I should or shouldn't do. Heck, my family's still telling me to go get a job. I haven't had a job since 2003. So it seems kind of funny to me that they would think that I would ever go get a job. But my mom still tells me, I think she told me about last week that you should really go get a job, Sherry. And I'm like, yeah, not going to happen, Mom. But okay, thank you very much for the advice. And again, the thought of getting a job makes me feel bad. So I know that that's not right for me. The thought of eating caramel always makes me feel good. So even though it might not be right for my body all the time, which I don't eat it all the time, I know that when I get the urge and I want to eat a caramel and it feels good to me, then I'll eat it. Now, if I want to eat 7 or 8 caramels and I know that's not going to feel good to me, then I don't eat them, but I do eat the one. So you can apply this to absolutely anything and everything in your life. You can apply it to deciding what business you should go in. You can use it to decide who you should be in relationships with. You can use it to decide what jobs to take. You can use it to decide. I use how I feel about individuals to determine if I'm going to work with them on a one-on-one coaching basis or not. I use how I feel about something to decide if I'm going to do a consulting gig or not for a company. If I get a bad feeling or a bad vibe from the energy, and I know this is kind of woo-woo, when I go to a business, I won't do business with them. I will respectfully decline, or I won't make them an offer to work with them. I used to get the same feeling when my ex-husband and I were in real estate. I would decide what properties we would end up purchasing because, and not all of them, I didn't go to all of them, but some of them I would go to, and there were a couple houses that totally creeped me out. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but we are not touching this project with a 10-foot pole. So since I've really gotten better about listening to my gut and listening to my intuition and paying attention to how things make me feel. Because I know if they make me feel bad, they're not for me. If it makes me feel good, it is for me. So that is my weird topic for today, but I was thinking about it and I thought I wanted to take a couple of minutes and just discuss it because I like to think that everybody knows everything that I know or that I've experienced in my life. And then I realized, duh, no, only I've experienced it. So maybe nobody has even talked to you about this and about how you feel about everything is really important. It's important for you. Might not be important to your kids, might not be important to your spouse, it might not be important to your boss, but it's important to you. And if it's important to you, that is all that matters. That means it's important to you and for you. So what am I working on with respect to transitioning from offline businesses to online businesses? Of course, I'm working on the Women's Summit. Pretty excited. Yesterday, I invited 5 amazing women to participate in the Women's Summit, and every single one of them said yes. I'm trying to round out the content and make sure that for the topic of this first Women's Summit, I have all the big pieces, a speaker for each of the big pieces. And a couple of them are missing, so I'll reach out to some more women today. Do I expect them all to say yes? Heck no. Did I expect all the women I contacted yesterday to say yes? No, I didn't expect them to. I expected them to say, hey, I'm too busy, I'm too important, because lots of people know that they're more important than this project, but it's a really cool project, right? It's an amazing project. And I think it has the ability to change the world in a positive way. And that's what I'm all about, is how can I get attached to, and I feel good about this project. It's the only reason I'm doing it, because it was totally not in my wheelhouse. It wasn't something that I thought I would ever do. It isn't something that I thought I would be doing now, and I've never done it before. So how do I know I can pull it off? Well, I've done a lot of big projects before and worked for a lot of big companies before. So I have the confidence to know I can figure it out, or the right people that I need to help me figure out different pieces, they'll show up. I know they will, because it's a project that makes me feel good. And if I'm feeling good about it, then I know it's the right project and the right thing for me to be doing. So I think that's helping me in deciding who to reach out to too. And I'll tell you my secret. Here's what I did in terms of deciding what women to reach out to for the Women's Summit. And I might have shared this before, but I think it's worth repeating. What I did is I went through my email, and I only went through one of my emails. I have a couple of emails, but I'm so behind on them that I figured I could get my 100 people in one. So I did what's called a Dream 100 list. And I went through my email, my inbox, and I looked at who am I following, who has had an impact on my life, who have I been following. Some people I've been following for like 10 years and been a part of their challenges or their projects or their products or their services or their teaching. And so those are the people that went on my Dream 100 list. Those are the women that are on my list that I want to reach out to and make a part of this Women's Summit. Now, it was going to be one Women's Summit, but now it's already turned into, I think, 5 for sure in 2019. So we'll have one just about every other month. I think we'll probably take the summer off because summer tends to be, although maybe we won't. I'll have to think about that. It depends what the topic is for summer, because summer tends to be a time for families and taking time off, especially for women business owners. But it also can be a time for personal development and growth. So maybe it is a good fit to be learning about things that are helping you as a business owner in the summer as you're on vacations and doing things with the kids that will push you to get a really good end of year performance for your business. I'll have to think about it. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still working on the first one. So we'll get this first one in the can, and then we'll figure out if we're going to have one in the summer or not. But I've already got the first 4 topics lined out. I've already got speakers for each of the first 4 summits and the first 4 topics. So this one will be the hardest. This one is the one where I'm rolling out the systems. I'm creating the framework. I'm creating the funnels and the promotional material and everything. And then the next one will just be a matter of tweaking the theme and the things like that but I'll have the systems in place for contacting the speakers, getting their information, getting the assets, creating a worksheet, scheduling the calls for the interviews. I decided that I was going to pre-send out the interview questions and create a book of the answers. So every woman that's a speaker that wants to participate in this book, I sent out the questions, their answer. I think I've gotten, at least 5 back. I just sent it yesterday or the day before. I sent some yesterday and some the night before yesterday, not the day, the night, like nighttime, yeah, before yesterday. And one of the things I'm really excited about this is we've got women from all over the world participating. I've got a woman from France. I've got one from Madagascar. I've got one from Australia, one from the UK, and where else? I want to say New Zealand, but I'm not sure. So it's fun because it's not just women in America who are starting businesses and growing businesses. It's women all over the world. And I honestly believe women business owners are changing and will continue to change the world. I believe entrepreneurs will change the world. It isn't going to be the big corporations and the big industries that change the world. If anything, they're making the world worse, not better. Think insurance, for example. Think of how many people are being negatively impacted by insurance. And healthcare. And here's 2 industries that are supposed to be for people, making their lives better. And instead, in the vast majority of the cases, like 80 to 90% of people's lives, they're actually making your lives worse. How many people cannot afford healthcare right now? I know so many people that can't afford healthcare because it's cost prohibitive for the lifestyle that they've created for themselves. So the Women's Summit is going to help to change all that and to change the world. That's it. That's all I've got today. Go out, make it a fantastic day. And of course, I'll be with you tomorrow, letting you know a little bit of my journey and what's working, what's not working. Maybe I'll contact 5 people today and they'll all say no. And so I'll be a little sad and I won't be super sad because I get it. It's not about me. I actually, confession, I actually have had 2 people say no to the summit. At first they said yes, tell me more. And then they changed their mind and said no. And here's the interesting thing. I don't think they said no because they don't think the summit's a good thing. I think they said no because they're not ready to participate in a project at this level. Their business isn't developed enough and they don't have the self-confidence and the belief in themselves yet enough to participate in a project of this level. And I'm hoping very much so that both of these women will participate in a later summit because I think they're fantastic women. And I believe that their businesses and they, as human beings, need to be showcased in a platform like this. I just don't think they're ready for it yet. And that's awesome. We do things when they're ready and the timing is right for us, when it feels good for us. If you're scared and nervous and anxious about doing something, it's not right for you at this time. So don't do it. Please tell me no, because I don't ever want to push anyone into anything that they're not ready for, or that they don't feel absolutely positively excited, awesome, and know that they can add value to other people. That's it. I will catch you all tomorrow. Have a fabulous day. I plan to too, because I believe that me feeling good is the most important thing on the planet. Boom. Bye. Pajama Grandma out.